Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today in this video, I'm going to talk about John Wick 4. Just came back from watching this movie, and I'm gonna give you a quick review, and I'll let you know whether I like this movie or not. This movie review is gonna be two-part. The first part will be without the spoilers, and the second part will be with the spoiler. So yeah, here we go. All right. As a John Wick fan, I was really super excited to go watch this movie. I had really high expectations, right? But when I came from the movie theater, I was super disappointed with this movie. I hate to say that, but I did not like this movie that much. John Wick first was amazing. John Wick 2 it's good, and third was also it's good, right? But the fourth installment is not that. So let me break down the things that I did not like of this movie. The first thing I did not like of this movie is the length of the movie. The movie is 2 hours and 46 minutes long, and it does not have the content to keep you focused for 2 hours and 46 minutes. It does not have any surprise elements. It does not have any plot twist where you will be like, oh man, like, you know, some portion of the movie I was scrolling through my phone because it did not keep me captivated throughout the whole movie. So I feel like the directors and the writers, I think, missed a mark there. The editors, they should have done better editing. There are a couple of scenes they could have just edited out. I'm gonna talk that scene in the spoiler, with the spoiler review. Yeah, the first thing is the length of the movie. The second thing that I did not like of the movie is the introduction of the new two characters, right? How they wrote the characters. First of all, the Marquez's character, he was appointed, this Marquez's character is the character that was appointed by the High Table to get rid of John, but the casting director did really bad, or the person whoever casted this character did really bad job. I did not like that particular actor for that character, right? He does not show any credibility, right? He does not have any skills. I don't know, overall Marquez's character was not believable. It had zero credibility. I didn't even believe 1% that this guy is gonna take or get rid of John Wick, right? I think that was the worst thing. And another character that I did not like was Kane's character. How they made Kane's character blind, even though Donian did amazing job and he did justice with the character, but the writers itself did a big mistake making this character blind. I don't understand why, right? Why do you have to make this character blind? There were so many assassins that has equal skill set as John Wick who failed miserably on the first and the second and the third installment, and now you are bringing another assassin. Now he's blind. So that was the worst concept I have ever seen in a movie. John Wick's movie is like you are sending a blind man to kill John, and that was the worst thing. And the third thing, and this is the meat of whole John Wick, franchise, is the action itself, right? The over the top action, the shots, and this. Yeah, I think this movie's action was sloppy. It was really loose, and the actions were repetitive. We have already seen these action scenes on the past John Wick movie. The same headshots, the same fight choreography. There are a couple of things that I liked of the fight sequel, but most of the fight scenes were too repetitive, right? Too repetitive, same thing again and again and again. They are trying to bring out a couple of new things, but I'm going to talk on the spoiler. But the action sequences itself is too long, and they could have edited or did a little bit more smarter choreography when it comes to the action. All right. I'm gonna stop here. These were a couple of things that I did not like about the movie. I think that's why the movie was disappointing for me. And I'm gonna talk about the other part of the movie with spoilers. So if you haven't watched it, I suggest you can pause this video, go watch it, and then come back and watch this video and let me know if you agree with my review. All right. The first thing I said I did not like about this movie was the length of the movie itself, right? Which is true, because every scene, every fight scene, or every plot is the same plot but in a different city or a different place. So the fight scene where John all of a sudden goes to Osaka for whatever reason nobody knows, he just ends up there, and then they have the almost 25-minute fight scene. That whole fight scene should have been edited out. The only thing that comes out of that fight scene is how Akira, the Shimaju's daughter, trying to take revenge against Kane's character. That's the only thing that comes out of that whole fight scene. Other than that, personally, I think they should have edited that out. There are, as I said earlier too, the fight scenes are too long, repetitive. They could have shortened the fight scene or come up with a better strategy of choreography, when it comes to choreography, as well as, because it's the same thing. They use the same technique, like how they're killing the hit shot. Now everybody has their same suit like John, which is bulletproof. They can't be shot, or they're hiding their face. Same thing again and again, the whole movie, right? So I think they should have trimmed down the fight sequence as well, and then kept the meaty stops, right? I did like the fight scene where John goes from room to room, and the shot is taken from the top, the aerial view. You can see actually John going to each room and shooting people, and I think that was cool. I really liked. I think John or AKNA did his own stunt when it comes to the Mustang scene in Paris, where he's drifting at the same time he's shooting. So that was also cool. I like that, where I feel like John is also doing his own stunt there. I like the fight scene with Killa, and that fight scene was also nice. The only thing I did not like is they are shooting, everybody's dancing, it's far from reality. So there are a lot of things are really, really messy, and then I don't understand how the director and the writers were thinking when they are designing these fight scene. It's just out of my head at that point in time. So yeah, Marcus's character was a big mistake. I think they should have hired a different actor for this role, or even given some credibility to say to an audience like, yes, this is a really bad dude, he's really badass, yes, he can kill John Wick, kind of thing, And also when the duel happens, I don't understand why they did not wanted to make Marcus take the duel. Instead, Marcus goes and says, Kane's gonna be fighting for me, a blind man in a gun duel. That doesn't make any sense. And from there you can see the Marcus character was a pussy. He didn't have the guts to fight against John Wick. So that whole thing about Marcus was a mess. Kane's character was also not consistent. In the first fight in the Osaka, he's using these ringers to identify where the people are so that he can shoot, but that approach or that technique is not being used in the rest of the movie, right? How does he know where people are coming from, or shoots when they're 50% is shooting at him, where are they being shot? It's not consistent, right? The whole fight scene and the whole script is not consistent when it comes to this installment. So that was really let down. And one of the biggest problem I felt was from this movie was John's character itself, right? The reason that personally I love John's character was when he was vulnerable and he was going through that grief on the first installment, where he just lost his wife, and the dog that his wife gave him was killed by the gangster, and he's hurting at that time, right? So we can connect, saying like, oh, this guy is hurting and now he's gonna take revenge, and then we were on the journey with him the entire time. But in this movie, I think they had taken away this emotional connect with this character. Now they have made this character like a godlike character who cannot be killed. I know at the end, if you see this movie, they show John to die, but that was his choice of taking that bullet from Kane so that he can get to Marcus and then shoot him. I think that's what it is. But most of the whole movie, you can see John's been shot, John's been rammed by cars left and right, he falls off the highest of buildings, he doesn't die, doesn't break any bones, he gets up and then continues fighting. So So you don't get that connection, like you don't get that connection as a person, right? As a seeing like, oh yeah, he gets hurt. That's what audience are like so invested in this character, is like, oh yeah, this character is a human being, and also he can get hurt. But that part of this role, or this character for John Wick is missing in this installment. I hope they will work on that character and then come up with more vulnerable character side as well for the John, emotional side, or like even as an audience we can connect with him. Yes, he's a badass, he can shoot, he can fight, that we love that part of the John Wick. But at the same time, he was hurting, right, on the first installment of John Wick. That thing is missing. The emotional connection with this character is amazing. So I think that is what I think the writer had to work a little bit deeper and then think deeper when it comes to the fifth installment if he comes back. I'm pretty sure in this movie, even though they show him dead, he's not dead. Obviously, he's gonna come back, and I think they're gonna pair him with Kane again, most probably in the coming installment. But I think that's where I think they messed it up. They have the Tracer's character. I don't understand why that character was even there at the first point. He has a dog, obviously. I love the dog's fight scenes, and then when I first saw the trailer, I thought like, oh wow, John's gonna get another dog, but that dog belongs to Tracer, and then the guy helps at the end, even though he's after John Wick. You know, somehow they get into the same, I guess, friends. They become friends. I don't know, but that character was, I don't know why that character was even there. Maybe it's gonna come back on the fifth installment, maybe. But at this point of time, I don't know. It was just a waste of time for me. I think it just they wanted to show some cool fight scenes with the dog, maybe. But I don't know, man. It's just waste of time, I think, for that part. So yeah, overall the movie was really disappointing for me. The movie could have been much better, but it did not. So if I have to give you a score, I'll give you 2 out of 5. If you want to go, you can go watch a movie at least one time. But I was really disappointed. If you agree with me, put that comment below. And if you like this kind of video, please do subscribe and help us out, and hit that bell icon so that whenever I post a new video, you get notified. All right, until next time,